Welcome to Loleventvods. Watch the full game of today's LTA 2025 matchup.
But as we see, the Yone still being banned out by TL.
Yeah, and the Silas, which means they might be. Well, they don't have the Maokai player in at the moment, because not a lot of times the Silas would be a ban for Maokai. But I'm thinking about Team Liquid and their inflexibility in draft phase, because Yone and Gwen were two of their bans in game one, along with the Ahri for the first three. And I feel like Yone and Gwen might want to stay banned unless they're willing to trade it for Rumble. Rumble would be a possible first pick for Team Liquid for me if it stays unbanned.
I like the fact that we're going through at least thinking about the jungle picks. Actually, a question for you, Inspired, is just like the experiences that you've had, if you've had experiences playing against UG in solo queue, like some of his champion pools, some of his strengths, what are you looking for now that you're looking at the UG second game here?
I do think he's just better, like, mechanically in skirmishes, and like as we see, they already first pick Xin Zhao for him. I think those type of champs are what he likes to play. He likes to play Xin Zhao, Viego, like those fighting characters. And I think Xin Zhao is just really strong in the meta right now. Pantheon is out, which is pretty strong fighting champs that can beat Xin Zhao, and Vi and Nafiri were already picked in game one. So
I really like it if C9 takes away Rumble here, because we're thinking about the champions that Impact will have in the best of five, and Rumble was way up there. I'm really surprised that they prioritized UG's pick instead of just getting Rumble for Thanatos.
I think they just want to play some sort of tank into Rumble. Like, I wouldn't even be surprised if they decide to pick like Ornn maybe or something.
Yeah.
Because I don't really know what else Impact would play against Rumble. I don't think Impact wants to pick Jace right now.
Probably not.
Galio is the one pick that comes to mind.
Actually, Galio. Galio is still open, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he would just go for Galio.
And it works really well with supporting any Xin Zhao engage. Like, they already have a pretty good base of what your comp can look like.
Would APA reach for the Ziggs already this early in a draft?
I mean, Ziggs doesn't really like to play against tank like Skarner, I assume.
Yeah.
Especially if you're blind to pick him.
Talia Azir down, Nico banned.
You're playing with my heart with this hover is all I'm
Ahri's
saying.
a good pick.
Oh,
Ahri's a
okay.
good pick.
Yeah.
I like the Ahri.
So that's what Silas ban was for. I think they
Yeah.
just wanted to pick Ahri.
It was also banned in the last game too. So it was banned by Team Liquid. So
Ahri was banned.
Yeah, Ahri was banned. So it's like, it's nice that it's out. So looking for some picks with the option, the Ahri and Xin Zhao looks pretty strong here. Corki getting picked here by Cloud9 though. What's the thoughts on Corki? Corki is interesting. Coming into the split, a lot of people were really high on Corki as a pick, thinking how strong it was in scaling. But then, like, the win rate wasn't great. It was dropped pretty down low in priority. What's your thoughts on Corki?
I do think Corki is strong. I think he just got kind of unlucky at the beginning of the split. That
Lost a lot of games.
Yeah, he just lost a lot of games, and people were like, maybe it's not working. But I do think it's a strong champ, offers a lot of damage, can be flexed between mid and AD.
Yeah.
But I think it's just good pickup in like those type of situations when you already have AP top laner, so you can afford to play AD mid, but you can also drop him to ADC positions. So I think it's a good spot to pick Corki.
Yeah, I like the flexibility of Corki. I also like if C9 are at all worried about that kind of turret destruction or like map play, Corki is a really good answer to 3 turrets very quickly. C9 can send them into side lanes.
Yeah, full bans for bot lane right now as well, since the solo lanes are most likely a Corki mid could possibly flex to bottom, but for the most part, we're just seeing bot lane bans here to set up.
One ban that I would want from C9 side is like a Braum. Because I think with Team Liquid's comp, you have Xin Zhao, 80 carry pick coming up if you have Braum. Because like, I'm imagining that you're probably going to continue to flex the Corki going into 5. And if you see something like a Rakan, Rakan's already banned.
Another Senna ban.
But like an engaged option, I think Braum becomes really strong for what Team Liquid already has. So letting it through. We'll see what it looks like.
From what I'm watching now, I feel like Sven is just going to pick Ezreal on 4. And you kind of don't mind playing against Braum if you go for Ezreal.
That's true.
Yeah, plus you can potentially go Ezreal Braum and have level 1 power forever.
Unless TL take it away here. Nope, taking away the Bard.
Bard is just target ban into Vulcan, I think.
Yep, Varus, Jhin gone from game 1. Senna, Lucian, Kalista, Karma, Bard, all the bot lane bans already.
Ezreal is very strong. And like, if you can get a really strong, like your team actually, like the support counter pick that you get, like the Janna pick or anything like that, then you'd want to go into 5
here
with
we
support.
go.
So yeah, that's actually a really good call out.
Good read.
Double AD comp.
What do you like into Ezreal then?
I think into Ezreal, just pick some sort of scaling ADC, maybe Jinx. I don't know what else. Or Smolder. Smolder got buff this patch and is looking really strong. Whenever you get Infinity Edge on Smolder, you just start like dealing so much damage that the stacks don't even matter that much.
Interesting, Rakan's already down, so Zyrakan's a little bit weaker. Jinx against Rumble can be a little tricky, but yeah, they have to pair the whole bot lane right here. There it is, Smolder.
Yep.
Smolder Brown.
And the Braum coming
the
through.
pickle.
You
Comes out
called
anyways,
it,
but it is
Rev.
blind Braum. The only question that
They
I have, but
did
I'm
ban
Ezreal.
Karma and Bard, which are two
To
good
set up
answers in
Braum.
Braum.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that makes sense. Which comp do you like already? I kind of like Cloud9's composition. I feel like they can play around Xin Zhao and Galio a little bit with the poke.
yeah, I like Team Liquid composition as well. But I think Vulcan can't really punish Brown blind pick that easily because I feel like he
No.
likes to play melee champs more than range.
He's gonna play Alistar.
He's
He's just
picking
gonna play Alistar anyway.
into Smolder Brown, which is
Yeah.
not
is
really
a,
that great, honestly.
He likes Alistar.
Yeah.
Don't like the angle. That's his most played champ of the whole split. That's his 8th Alistar game already just in split 2. So inspired. Final prediction now that you've seen the drafts for this game.
I think Team Liquid takes it. If they lose this game, I really don't know what Spawn can cook for them. in order to win.
No.
Like, I really think this is the one they're gonna win.
Okay, Flowers is Kobe. What do you think?
Very much, Lounge. Thank you very much, Inspired. And that's a pretty strong opinion from our special guest, saying he doesn't know what to do if this doesn't work for the TL scaling squad with the Smolder win con.
I mean, I will say, Brahms and Zhao, very difficult for these double AD carries to actually get through. And Smolder, I do think, the kind of clear weakness on the TL side is that their comp is maybe a bit slow, is that they don't have great primary engage. It's like your main form of engage is like a Braum flash ult or Xin going in with a Galio ult or something like that. Not that reliable. But that being said, if Yon can get to 3 items, Smolder is crazy on 3 items these days. Since those buffs came through, it's looking strong.
All right, non-subscribers, we'll see y'all in 30 seconds. For everybody else, though, this first game was really slow for 20 minutes, and then as soon as Cloud9 got their lead, they just immediately kept building it and building it and building it all the way to knocking the Nexus down 10 minutes later. What I want to see is for C9 to start faster in this one, since we're talking about TL taking this more of a defensive stance, wanting to get Smolder to 3 items. I feel like it's up to C9 to be active early.
It's going to be really interesting to see how they play it out. Because, yeah, if Yon can get the 3 items, if you get Essence Reaver, i.e. Rapid Fire, every time your Rapid Fire is up, you just Q someone. If it's a squishy, they lose like 20+% of their health once you have 225 stacks. It's really difficult to play around, and you can kind of force your opponents into engaging into you. Something that stands out to me, though, is the fact that Impact is actually playing Aftershock, not Phase Rush, which is less common in these matchups. Generally, people are going to be playing Phase Rush because if you get hit by the Electro Harpoons, you can kind of get chased down. You go in with the Phase Rush trade, and then you're able to just kind of kite it out. So we'll see if there is any opportunity for Thanatos to punish him on that. He is playing Conqueror, so these extended trades could really go in his favor.
Right. Everything else seems pretty standard in terms of summoner spells, in terms of keystones. Cleanse for Sven versus the barrier on Yon with the Smolder. Heal for both of the supports, just playing for the defensive angle, keeping those 80 carries nice and healthy. Doesn't look like we're getting anything super wild here at level 1. Doesn't look like Blabber's going to be going for the crazy flash over the wall, Skarner buff steal or anything.
Yeah. I mean, you talked about how last game was slower. I feel like TL wants to play that sort of game, right? It's like you have Heal Guardian on your Braum, you have Barrier plus Fleet on your Smolder. You're just trying to play to scale and knowing that it's going to be very difficult for the C9 comp to actually reach Smolder and pick him off if he's not out of position.
Yeah, I guess the areas they could create some action is mid-jungle, like UG and APA. But whenever people talk about UG, they talk about, yeah, he is really, scale-focused and farm-focused. So we'll see how many risks they actually end up taking. Charm flashes from APA, maybe an opportunity.
Thanatos could also be vulnerable potentially. Obviously, Galio has great gank assist for the Xin Zhao, so there definitely are opportunities for them to play. But we will see. Kangas, though, is standing by with C9's coach and Arrow.
Thank you very much. I have an Arrow here. And Arrow, UG is the name on everyone's mind right now. What kind of challenges does that pose to you as a coach, having a 6-man roster to prepare for?
Nothing crazy too much. We kind of know what to expect from both of them because we've watched their games and seen. All junglers are kind of playing the same stuff right now. Like maybe one jungler doesn't play one champ or something, so you ban around it, but it's nothing too crazy. Just treating it like another team.
Are you expecting UG for all the games today?
Yeah, we're expecting UG for every game, but if they change it up, cool. I'm not sweating it.
You never know. We actually had a fan in the audience as well. It's their birthday today. Can you say happy birthday, Aiden, for me?
Yeah, happy birthday, Aiden.
And actually, surprise, this was Aiden's sign, so an Arrow just cheered on the enemy. So congratulations on that, an Arrow. With that said, we're going to send it back to the casters.
The old sign swap bamboozle.
I knew something was suspicious when I saw another sign behind the sign.
How could you do that to that man when all his orcs have already exploded, you know? He's got a stable job, and now you're putting him in danger.
He's the one who explodes the orcs. He's the problem.
He was just talking about how well prepared they were for the draft and everything, but he wasn't prepared for the signs. He let it slip through.
Betrayed.
He also
by another an arrow.
Very nonchalant. He's like, yeah, you know, whatever. Junglers are junglers. You know, they do the same stuff. I don't care if they sub in. We'll see about that. Okay, so so far, though, after the full clears, you have a little bit of a move from Umpty up towards that top side, towards Impact.
Yeah, and Impact, we want to talk about, obviously, game number 1 was not, his fault or anything like that, but he has been underperforming this split. These are his stats compared to his own stats. So out of the 22 splits that he has played, solo kills is including, all of playoffs and stuff, but this is actually the first regular season in his entire career where he didn't even get one solo kill, right? He's not been performing to that same level, but historically, he has always been a guy to step up really when it counts, when they go international, when they go playoff time. Game number 1, I think he was solid, so we really want to see a strong performance from Impact so TL can get back to their winning ways and really challenge these teams at the top like C9, like FlyQuest, that are those expected top 2.
And here in mid lane, APA losing out on the early trade against Loki here with the Corki as Vulcan and Sven ready to scrap with Yon and Cord down here in the bottom lane duo. But I think in game number 1, Loki had a much better performance than APA did, even getting the solo kill onto APA down there in that bottom side jungle after Cloud9 really started to come online. So we'll see if APA can bounce back a little bit in this one. He is on the Ahri. He does have one of the only real methods of trying to engage for the Team Liquid side. So I want to see if he can step up and face the pressure after the game 1 loss.
Yeah, I mean, Ahri has a very big difference depending on how many charms you hit. Everybody's always looking at your first couple charms, especially your flash when your flash is ready. So a lot will be riding on can they get any early money, especially because mid jungle duo could be very big for some of these early objectives.
All right, teleports used for both of our mid laners now as they go back, make their first purchases. Nobody's getting a huge early purchase. It's not like APA was able to make it to a lost chapter or anything like that. Not like we have any completed big components for the Corki either, as everybody just has that basic tier 1 400 gold type of junk. So no decided advantages there, as our top laners are both hitting level 6 and about to make their first recalls as well.
And I mean, you can see what kind of a game Sven is also expecting it to be when his first base is tier colon emote, right? Like he's just looking to farm. You basically spend a lot of gold without getting any combat power whatsoever. On the other side, Yon does have a pickaxe. So one of the things that I think people sometimes over-focus on with Smolder is like how perfect your CS is to get stacks, but often trading is really the way that you accelerate it. So if you do have a combat advantage, you can step forward and constantly be trading queues and being able to really accelerate it, because every time you get to one benchmark, it accelerates your speed at which you get to all the other benchmarks. So you get to 25 fast, and now all of a sudden you're AoE stacking the waves. You're getting to 125 faster. When you get to 125, all of a sudden you're Q bouncing through the range minions and stacking off your opponents and getting to 225 faster. So it really is kind of that multiplicative, acceleration.
Yep.
Couldn't think of the word.
Multiplicative.
Yes, multiplicative.
Yuji, though, he talked, when you interviewed him actually before the game, he was talking about Blabber, and he was like, yeah, that guy loves crabs. and Team Liquid can run him off of this crab, so they won the big fight over bottom scuttle crab here, and Yuji can sneak into the back of the dragon pit with the wind becomes lightning, charge on over, so Team Liquid already here doing some nice things. Because he was able to get that crab, Yuji's the first to level 6, the Xin Zhao level 6, very, very big, and TL controlling the bottom side of the map nicely. You see all the vision through the river leading up to the dragon. Their roam on through where Core JJ came in through mid lane to help him get that. And this is a much better start here for TL.
Absolutely. And one thing that's always nice, a minor thing for the game, but when you are facing a tank on the other team, if you have someone who is like solo AP or solo AD against them to force them to build that resist, it feels really, really nice. So Thanatos playing the Rumble here is forcing him to build that cowl early, but you look at the other carries on the team, they're both almost purely physical damage. Obviously, there's some magic damage mixed in, but a lot of damage from these double AD carries, and that is going to really slow down Impact's ability to start stacking armor. And if you start stacking armor for the team fights, well, then all of a sudden you can really struggle more in that side lane in the 1v1.
Always nice to make the tanks have to make that tough choice on the itemization, as it looks like our bottom lane duos will now swap up to the top side of the map as we have less than 5 seconds until the grubs have spawned. Remember that in game number 1, it was Team Liquid winning out on the neutral objectives early. They got both of the first dragons. They got 2 out of 3 of the grubs. And with that first dragon already secured by UG, we'll see if C9 can do a whole lot here with the grub pit. It looks like we're going to see the same thing that we saw in game 1 with Blabber, making sure he shows up, making sure he secures just one of the grubs, stop the Void Mites from spawning for TL, but then don't overplay your hand, and Team Liquid will secure the other 2.
Yeah, nice stuff from them. I think this time around, a little bit, I'd be wary if you are Blabber playing into UG. The Xin Zhao with like even a very slight lead can be very, very dangerous. So we'll see some of the chunks here going through mid lane. Cloud9 were really early rotating Sven and Vulcan over to the mid lane. But it doesn't look like they're going to pay too much of a price.
All right, Team Liquid putting down some vision up here, keeping track of the Krugs, making sure they'll be aware whenever Blabber wants to show up. But he's on the other side of the map right now. Thanatos and Impact still just scrapping 1 versus 1 down there in the bottom lane. Thanatos with a slight lead in terms of the gold, but no huge major leads in any one specific matchup for either team so far. Couple hundred here, couple hundred there, but really it's a dead even game again.
Yeah, and it's interesting just to see the lane assignments here from C9. You know, they have moved Loki up to basically be the duo lane. He's acting as that kind of AD carry for now to go up against Ian and Core JJ. Sven going to be just kind of farming it out here against APA, so maybe just feeling like Corki is going to have a better time in that 2v2 than Sven on the Ezreal will. Of course, Ezreal is a little bit low on the wave clear, so this is going to mean Ahri gets pushed in mid lane, and you can see Sven is getting pressured, and APA may be able to slowly but surely kind of whittle away on some of these plates.
Right, next dragon not spawning from another 2.5 minutes, so shouldn't be a whole lot of reason for anybody to really take a fight unless that's what they absolutely want to do. And we've already spent plenty of time talking about how Team Liquid just doesn't want to do that. So I expect things are going to just really continue back and forth a little bit with this type of Vision War play. Core JJ always trying to track the enemy jungler here, maybe throw a Winter's Bite over the wall. Nicely done there from Core to steal away the big Krug.
Feels really good. And Jan, when you check in on the stacks, already at 77 stacks before he has any CDR, purchased up whatsoever. He's going to be working towards the Essence Reaver, and of course, as you complete that Essence Reaver, you get the additional CDR. It's going to get faster and faster and faster as you hit level 9 and get the max rank of your Q as well. So he's really on a good pace right now for stacking, and it seems like they're going to move him mid, potentially start feeding him some of these jungle camps as well. Giving over Raptors and things like that can really accelerate it also. And it's clear to me that TL just wants to play all eggs in the Jan basket. Like, this game is basically, all right, Jan, we're going to build for you, we're going to play for you, and it's up to you to carry us.
And they keep trying to chase these C9 lane assignments. They rotated again, Cloud9, Sven, from mid lane, then down to bottom lane, then all the way up here through river once again, constantly moving. They swapped him with Thanatos up to the top side. They don't have that teleport anymore. Loki does have his for the bottom side now, that then he takes Sven's spot. So we keep on playing musical chairs here with every single minion wave. And Cloud9 constantly rotating and causing this kind of follow-up.
And Impact even has the full Hollow Radiance. So I was going to be interested to see, did he just sit on Cowl? Sometimes people will just sit on Cowl and then start building HP and armor and things like that to be kind of more ready for that fight. But this does give him a lot of wave clear. It is quite a nice item in the 1v1, so that's going to be really helping out for Impact, especially if you're not going to be building a lot of AP. But there are quite a few different builds that you can do on Galio these days. Even when you're going like, tank Galio in quotation marks, you can do Riftmaker second and those types of builds. Sometimes people splash in Zonias, and sometimes people do go just pure full tank. So it'll be interesting to see what style Impact wants to play.
And you can see right there the effect of the Explodey passive on the Hollow Radiance, just making it so easy to combo the... it's a good one. I think it accurately describes what's happening. But the Winds of War plus the passive Slam Down combined with that just makes it so easy to guarantee that these waves are quickly mopped up, since Thanatos is usually going to have priority, clear out the minions first. Impact wants to be able to respond quickly and then follow any movements that his opponent might be making towards the rest of the map. As we have that second Drake now spawned, and C9 has control control over the bottom side river. Team Liquid, though, with Yuji and Core both nearby. Yon also just trying to max his stacks before he has to maybe rotate over. Yuji's going to take some damage. Nice grab from Blabber. Slams him right back into the wall, and it's first blood over to Loki. Team Liquid caught unaware, disrespecting the Skarner, and Blabber teaches him a lesson.
And Vulcan, you have to worry about this cow. This brush by the Dragon Pit, that is the most important brush for every Dragon fight. And he comes straight out of it, runs Yuji into the wall, and they full combo him. He didn't even get his ult off.
Yeah, I mean, APA was very slow to move here, as was Yon. Yon wanted to get pushed mid lane first, and he just comes out, gets the combo right into the ultimate. Great play there. And it's just the extra man. The fact that APA isn't there with the team, the fact that Loki is, means there's not really much of a shot for TL. So their first swing at a fight comes a bit late, and it's a miss.
All right, but now we have a TP coming up to the top side here, looking to make a move on to Thanatos, who now needs to try to escape. APA in hot pursuit. Thanatos with the flash out, but is it in time? APA doesn't find the second hit of the Q. Thanatos is still trying to run, but he's ready to turn him and APA falls. Core shows up only in time to find himself executed as well. And C9 are playing so much better as a team.
Oh man, TL tried to force the play on the top side, and Thanatos just gets the outplay, kites back towards Blabber. Blabber's able to block the charm from APA, and it all goes bad for TL. Impact going in here, but it's right as Thanatos is overheating, so he gets a lot of early damage down, and then he realized, okay, TP's coming in, I just need to kite to Blabber. Drops down the equalizer for the slow here, and look at him, flashes back. The charm is soaked there by Blabber, and the last charge of the ulti was used by APA, so he flashes forward to try to finish him off, but he's just out of damage. The overheat comes through again, and they get the kill, they get the finish off. Vulcan comes in with the heal. It's a disaster for TL.
And you could see after the electrocute proc, Thanatos was down to 100 HP. If the Q2 from the Ahri would have hit, that would have secured the kill. It would have reduced the turn power on the side of C9.
And he could have ulted over the wall maybe and saved himself.
That could have been such a big difference maker, but the miss on the return of the Q spells disaster for Team Liquid. And now APA is getting cooked again. Thanatos might just kill him. Core JJ shows up in time to keep his mid laner alive, and now maybe Team Liquid can try to find something back as Yon makes his appearance in the fight, and Thanatos has no way home. Surely the kill is claimed, and Yon is the one picking it up.
That may be a mental saver for this game, because the previous one was for sure a tilter for the side of TL. Cloud9's cross map, though.
Yeah, Vulcan and Blabber ready to help out Loki here and make a play onto Impact. The Tier 1 turret is still alive, but it can't protect him. Blabber's on a killing spree, and Impact is dead again.
And Yuji's next. I mean, it's a little bit dangerous here. Vulcan and Blabber.
Oh, Vulcan now re-engaging with another nice headbutt pull. Then Yuji too far forward. Now forced to flash defensively, but Loki's ready to flash follow. He grabs the kill, but he'll pay for it with his own life as APA and Core JJ will make that a 1-for-1. They're really taking their damn time on it, though. Still a 1-for-1.
Okay, TL, don't panic. Your win con is still
Maybe
Yon.
panic some.
Yeah.
A little panic.
Panic doesn't help anyone, okay? nobody benefits from panic. You need to focus on Yon.
Okay, fair,
deep breaths. Deep breaths and look at the Yon cam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at the Yon stacks. Don't look at your jungler and your top laner dying under the tower.
That's just going to cause you more stress, okay?
Exactly.
Everybody needs to have a little bit of meditation, a little bit of Yon cam. You know, he got a solo tower on the bottom side of the map.
Okay.
So you got your gold. You're talking about the items being incredibly important for this champ. You know, focus on that.
He's got 3,000 gold in pocket. That's also pretty nice.
A lot of money.
Better if you spend it,
check
but you
in the
know.
Yon column.
Yeah, there you go.
He might be just trying to stay on the map for like a full IE or something at this point if he hasn't based yet. And you can see that the Knight's Vow is through. He's already up to 152 stacks and is going to go back to base now. So I'll see, you know, will he just grab like a rapid fire second, or is he going to try to, you know, greed it out and go for that IE, because the IE is such a big spike. But rapid fire, of course, does allow you to really start stacking even more easily on your opponents. It's a lot safer to step forward for those max range Qs.
And with Yon having to take a recall now, though, with his pockets so heavy from all the unspent gold, that means that TL knows that they can't fight for the Herald. C9's going to claim that one without any contest.
So Shojin is kind of like the more the old school build. Most people people these days are just going for crit, and they are going, IE and rapid fire. Shojin, though, does give you the basic ability CDR, so it's going to be helping your stacking speed, also gives you a little bit of HP, and of course, as you're mixing in more and more abilities, you're going to be getting that ramping damage, so it is quite strong, but it is... I would say it's like the less greedy but less powerful version of the IE, but he is going to be setting himself up well, and of course you still can get an IE later in the game. Usually if you go for this, then you're going to go rapid fire third and then IE fourth, which does mean it comes quite late.
Oh boy, Impact could be in some danger here yet again as Blabber goes forward, but the Impale will not connect as Impact flashes away.
That instant taunt from Impact was actually really critical as Blabber went forward because it got a mini CC on him, procced his Aftershock, and delayed the Skarner ultimate coming out so he could actually get away.
All right, APA is coming down. They're going to fight it.
Okay, C9's already got the Drake started up. Yuji into the pit,
Impact's
immediately trying to make this a smite fight. Thanatos over the wall, but now C9's got to be a little bit more careful as Yuji is still trying to get away, and Vulcan is drawing all of the aggro from TL. Thanatos confirms the kill on Yuji. Vulcan gets away from APA, who tries to get the kill, but cannot do it. The Ahri is not strong enough. It is a Drake plus 2 kills for C9.
Team Liquid looks so desperate in every play that they make. Honestly, since that first Dragon, everything feels like they are reaching. They are under pressure. I guess Yon is the only one actually that still looks calm, so maybe you're okay with your Yon cam only view for TL.
Go to box cam, only on Yon.
but look, Yuji goes in here, and Blabber again just pushes him against the wall. The CC chains have been very good for TL. The rest of them just jump on him. While Vulcan on the top of your screen, the Alistar there just pops ult to tank the rest of the members of TL, but Yuji can't do the same. He burns down, even with the Galio being called onto his side, and Vulcan even runs in circles and survives!
Yeah, I mean, Yuji, I think, definitely feeling a bit of pressure there, feeling like, oh god, I gotta get in, I gotta get the Dragon, goes very early, gets CC'd against the wall, loses ultimate, loses his flash, Galio ults him defensively, and he still dies, and look at that reaction from APA, clearly feeling the frustration, knowing this game is slipping away from you, and if you lose this one, you've got a reverse sweep.
Yeah, not only did he miss out on the kill on Vulcan in that attempt, it was his flash that he spent alongside his ult to try to get that last little angle to confirm the damage that he needed, and to have that fall through, now you're missing one of those big playmaking tools that you would otherwise be able to use to try to get back into the game at a different point, and now APA is under pressure again as Blabber continues the chase, but won't be able to lock the Ahri down long enough.
And the tough thing is, even though Yon is in a really good spot, if you look at his stacks, if you look at his itemization, like everything is great for him. The game is getting so far away from him that I don't know that it's going to matter by the time he's online.
All right, 20 minutes on the clock. Otacon has spawned, which has triggered a special Uber Eats offer that you can check out in chat, or the Twitch extension if you're looking to eat as good as Cloud9 are eating in this game. They have been having Team Liquid for breakfast, lunch, and dinner so far in this second.
I knew you were going to go there, and honestly, deserved flowers. Well done.
They ordered the buffet meal, and Team Liquid has been obliging. Yon is the only one who has still got that chance, I think, to be the carry. Yeah, exactly. And C9, their eyes are on the prize. They've got a sweet tooth, and they're looking to see if they can end this one.
Yon, over 200 stacks, though, so, going to be hitting that 225 mark quite soon, and should be sitting on a bit of gold, 800 in pocket, so he's a bit off that rapid fire, of course, but, is going to be working towards it, and you can work some magic. If you can have, a well-established front line, play the fight slow, just constantly poke and prod with that smolder, you can soften people up enough that maybe he can carry a fight, but it's going to be so dependent on how they do when he first hits that 225 after their first team fight.
The thing that I'm worried about, Isaac, is you're talking about a well-established front line. I see a front line that is 0-2-0 and 0-3-1. This front line for TL having some struggles, but Sven now in some danger, trying to get away. The charm from APA doesn't connect. Sven's able to escape, and now Yuji is under pressure. Thanatos flashing back into the Baron pit to try to create a little bit of extra distance between himself and Team Liquid as Blabber jumps over the wall. A slam into the terrain, followed up by an Ice Impale, but nobody's dead just yet. Vulcan's going to be taken down as APA finds the kill, but Team Liquid has also lost their own support. Yuji's about to die to Loki, who secures the kill there as Impact drops, and now without Yon alive any longer, C9 slams another fight.
It is a little messy, but it's all Cloud9 in the skirmish. Here's a look at it as they start up the Otacon themselves, and Sven was very far out, so it got a little dicey, but that charm did not follow up from APA. Sven had cleansed to be be able to get out of range, kept on moving up the river to his team. And then Thanatos, as you said, flashing, but still in the pit. Then it's when they make the call to turn. Blabber plus the Ezreal ult does a lot of work.
Exactly, and Blabber's ult had to be flashed there by Jan, and then Jan is just constantly getting distracted by Sven. He can't actually get him. He keeps going out of vision. He flaps forward, tries to get in on him, is not able to even win the duel. He's their strongest member, couldn't get a lot done in that fight. It was great selection from C9.
Anti-con together, okay? Together.
And I loved the very end of that replay too. You saw Loki perfectly tracking APA's cooldowns on the Ahri. As he gets the last hit for the kill, he immediately flashes to the side, knowing that the Charm Spirit Orb was coming right back off a cooldown, guaranteeing there was no chance for a hit back. I feel like Loki is seriously dialed in this series.
Yeah, Cloud9 have been really, really good in a lot of their skirmishes. Loki definitely exceptional. The CC chains from Vulcan and Blabber have been insane. Thanatos just individual outplays as well, even when he's not with the team. So C9 for sure look locked in here. Let's see what TL could do about it, because now even the Jan cam is getting a little shaky.
Yeah, it's looking tough. I mean, this is Loki's stats so far this game. Definitely got ahead, very far ahead early, and has been looking really good in Game 1. In Game 2, he has been smurfing. Has made a really big difference for C9. I think a lot of people were thinking, all right, this new era of C9 with Loki and Thanatos as the solo laners, and Sven and Vulcan coming back to the team, it's going to take longer for them to really click and kind of get online, but they were able to be very successful very quickly here in the LTA. And Jan does have his stacks. He is online, but he needs his third item, and I feel like because he doesn't have that third item, you're not going to fight the third dragon. You're just going to wait and see if you can make something happen at the next one.
APA jumping in after Sven here. He chunks him down to 1/3 HP, but now the follow-up from C9 is way too much for APA to handle. I don't know what he was even thinking there, as now it's going to result in a pile of corpses wearing Team Liquid jerseys. C9's just marching down mid lane. Sven hits him with the trademark frog, and this one's going to be costly.
Not the frog!
I mean, that was looking like an emotional engage from APA, trying to get Sven under the tower there. They don't even get close. They just chase him down, kill him off. Jan gets flash ulted by Blabber. They're looking for a potential end here at 24 minutes.
I think this game is done. They've got a big minion wave. Impact and Yuji are going to try to defend this, but it's a 2 versus 5. Sven backs away. All right, C9, they don't have quite enough in the tank to end the game just yet, but that was a big blunder from APA.
We call that one a little int check just at the end. You know, maybe they come out and they int a little more, and then we just end the game.
The int check, I like it.
TP, man. TL's just going to try to chase this.
Okay, Team Liquid.
Desperation hours.
Desperate to try to find anything, and all they're going to find is an ambush lying in wait. Impact already dead. Yuji tries to fight back, but the wind becomes lightning, but a beautiful equalizer from Thanatos guarantees Team Liquid's retreat. Vulcan ready to bury the enemy support as Yuji and Jan are both forced back over the wall with the blast cone. C9 can do no wrong in this one. Team Liquid looks completely frazzled.
Yeah, this one's looking pretty cooked, and I'm looking at my watch. It might be umpty o'clock. Might be seeing a change-up, testing out this 6-man roster. If you're going down 0-2 like this, slammed in back-to-back games, I think it's time to smash the case and let out the umpty, try something different here for TL, because Cloud9 is running away with it.
Yeah, honestly, anything that you could do to have like a big shift for the team just mentally, because it does seem every player cam we go after, every single play, they are really, really feeling these losses in every single team fight. So definitely going to have to change something up here for TL, for Spawn. Of course, this game isn't technically over, but it is looking like it is. Here's another look at the, I guess, in check part 2, where they camp inside of the jungle. You know, you've got your 9,000 gold lead and have such good turn from Cloud9. A lot because of Vulcan and because of Blabber, you know, the CC that they do bring, but a couple more kills gathered, and those mean that you're going to be returning with the Baron buff. That should definitely wrap things up.
I mean, honestly, that second chase, I didn't even really mind, because the game looks so cooked at that point that it's like, okay, maybe they get lazy and they're recalling it, you know, separately, and you can get some kills.
It's a YOLO.
Exactly. At that point, every play is a bad play. Every play is, you know, a really low percentage play. So I'm not really mad at that one, but C9 here does have the Baron buff, and they are barreling down for some of these tier 2s. You can see Impact trying to push out top lane. see if they can get a little bit of something back. But mid lane inhib is already open, and C9 are coming for this bot lane inhib. They want to crack the base.
I mean, it's a 5-digit gold lead with the Baron. Equalizer forcing Team Liquid back yet again, but the wave is mostly cleared, except for the cannon minions, who are going to keep sieging this tier 3 turret in the bottom lane. Another big hit comes out from Sven's Ezreal, and Yawn is down to 10% HP. The Smolder's forced back. That's the only win condition. Team Liquid has to regroup around him, while their bottom lane inhibitor also falls. Now, the tier 2 turret is still standing up in the top lane, so it's not like C9 can just walk a little bit further up into the top side of this base and immediately claim the third, but I don't even think they need to. They're going in for the fight instead. Impact grabbed up by the Impale, barely gets himself away as Loki gets back over the wall, and Sven is on a rampage with Impact already dead. Now Yuji is stunned up, and he will follow his top laner straight into the abyss as Team Liquid, now in a 3v5, scrambles to try to defend. C9 with the Baroned up minions going after the Nexus turret. Sven kills APA as Core and Yawn try to flash back into the safety of the fountain. There's not enough stacks in all of Runeterra for Smolder to carry this one. Sven keeping him stuck inside the fountain. C9 20-3. Go to match point.
C9 are looking good. People were doubting them after their loss to FlyQuest, but they are looking like they're on a complete different level